There she is, the city beautiful, Chicago, Illinois, where this afternoon Comcast Sportsnet presents White Sox baseball. It's Alexi Ramirez, Melky Cabrera, Avi Garcia and the Sox as they get set to butt heads with Billy Butler and Bob Melvin's Oakland Athletics. Hi, everybody, and welcome. I'm Ken Harrelson with Steve Stone as we get set to bring you the finale of this four-game set. As you know, we've taken 2 out of the first 3. And one of the interesting things about the finale today is we've got one of the most underrated pitchers in all of baseball going for us.
Nobody talks about Jose Quintana because this guy keeps throwing great baseball but doesn't have a whole lot to show for it. He's 9-10 this year, but he's thrown much better than that. As you can see, in his last 10 starts, 5-1 with an ERA under 3 with 8 quality starts. It seems like every time he goes out there, he keeps his team in the game long enough to get a chance to win it. And lately that's actually been happening as the Sox have gotten him a whole lot more runs. So Jose Quintana hopefully will be at his best. It'll be a career high with 10 wins if he gets it today.
Well, our bullpen has been good all year long, and one of the unsung heroes has been Matt Albers.
If you don't get a lot of decisions and you don't get any saves, you have a tendency to be overlooked. But Matt Albers has come on and done just a terrific job. Every time he's asked to come out of the bullpen, he's done it. 15 straight scoreless appearances. His ERA in the low 1s. He's got a great sinker, late movement on his fastball. And although at this point, with a team that's not going anywhere, it's tough to work out of that bullpen, Albers has excelled at a very tough job.
All right, it's the series finale, so sit back, relax, and strap it down. White Sox baseball coming your way.
Sportsnet is brought to you in part by your Chicago area and Northwest Indiana Lexus dealer, who invites you to test drive a Lexus today. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois, through it all. Audi, truth in engineering. Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. And by Toyota. See where Toyota takes you. Test drive one at your Toyota dealer. Toyota, let's go places.
Welcome back to beautiful U.S. Cellular Field. It's 88 sunny degrees at the ballpark. Just a gorgeous day for the finale of this homestand. Finale of a 4-game series with this Oakland ball club. And let's take a look head-to-head is exactly how they've gotten there. White Sox have won 2 of 3 here. The runs, well, Oakland scored more. The hits, Sox have more. Home runs, dead even. Extra base hits, very close, but Oakland has the edge. But runners in scoring position, one of the most important stats there are, both teams identical. So Robin trying to get a look at some of the younger players. He's got a few of the veterans out of the lineup today. And Bob Melvin on the other side of the equation, pretty much in the same spot in that he realizes that he's got to take a look at all of the young players he possibly can before spring training next year to have some sort of an idea about who he's going to have out there. So to the younger players, getting this opportunity, each game is of critical importance. Let's take a look at how Bob Melvin's going to line up his Oakland ball club for the finale this afternoon. Marcus Semien leading it off. Then it's Mark Canha, Brett Lawrie, Danny Valencia, Billy Butler had a home run last night with Josh Reddick, who's been red hot. Then it's Josh Phegley, Jake Smolinski, and Tyler Leydendorf rounding it out. The defense, and how they'll line up being Jose Quintana, Melky Cabrera, J.B. Shuck, Abisail Garcia in the outfield, with Tyler Saladino, Alexi Ramirez, Micah Johnson, and Mike Holt in the infield. Tyler Flowers gets a nod behind the plate, and our Lexus pursuing perfection starting pitcher is Jose Quintana. He's trying to even it up at 10-10. His ERA a touch over 3.5. This is 30th start. Fanned 158 and 183 in the third innings, and so he's still got an outside chance to get to 200 innings. We'll see how that plays out. It all starts right here today. The umpires for the game this afternoon, DJ Rayburn behind the plate, Joe West, the crew chief, at first, Rob Drake is at second, and Stu Sherwater is at third. So the Sox have done a nice job offensively lately, and what they'd like to do is get a few runs early for Quintana. His last 10 starts, he's absolutely been brilliant. He's 5-1, his ERA well down there, so he's thrown it as well as he could throw it, and he's closing with a rush, which is always something you want to make a good impression on your manager, your general manager, and certainly down the line somewhere, scouts from other teams. And so they've thrown the ball around the infield. That means we're ready to play baseball. I'm ready to turn it over to my play-by-play partner, Ken Harrelson.
Hi, Steve. Thank you. And once again, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to White Sox baseball right here on Comcast Sportsnet. Finale of this 4-game series and this homestand. As Marcus Semien, 3 for 14 in the series, gets set to look at the first pitch from our Jose Quintana, and that's taken for a ball. Semien comes in hitting at .253, 12 homers, 38 knocked in. There's the strike. Oakland hitting at .253 as a team with a 3.93 team ERA. That breaking ball out in front. And this is the 7th and final meeting of the year between these two clubs. In the first 6, our guys have won 5 of them. 1-2 pitch.
Marcus, as you probably know by now because he used to play with the White Sox, attended University of California at Berkeley. Helped Cal to the College World Series in 2011. And he's got a few teammates right here on this field today, right alongside him. And there was one who pitched last night, who pitched to him, Eric Johnson, who got the win.
There you go. One out.
This one catches the inside corner. Marcus didn't think so, but DJ Rayburn made a good call. It did have a piece of that corner. You have to assume, and this is just an assumption, that on getaway day, you're probably going to see a bigger strike zone than normal. So hitters just be apprised of that and swing the bat.
There's Kama. Fouls that pitch back. He's 5 for 12 in the series, hitting at .259 on the season, 15 homers and 64 driven in.
Another member of those Cal Bears, and he's got some pretty good power for a guy that they picked up as a Rule 5 draft.
And the 1-1 pitch. And here at the ballpark, 330 down the left field line, 335 down the right field line, 375 in the gaps, and 400 straightaway center.
Wind has been very much a factor in this series, and if the ball gets up in the wind, it's usually going to go out. Prevailing winds are toward the left field corner.
And that is hooking foul. Thank you very much. After the game, we'll board our charter, head out on a 10-day, 11-game road trip. 3 in Cleveland, 4 in Detroit, 4 in New York. Well, on the other side of the field, these A's will board their charter and head on down to Houston to finish up a 10-game road trip with a 3-game set against the Astros.
The Astros need some wins desperately as they've fallen behind Texas.
There you go. 2 down.
Sets him up with some off-speed stuff and then puts him away with the high heat. Probably nobody has used that high fastball better than Jose over the course of his development, and he has shown conclusively to anybody who wants to observe him on the bench that he can throw a face-high fastball even at 92 by just about everybody.
Brad Laurie, 3 for 9 in the series, hitting at .269, 16 homers and 58 knocked in. Count evens at 1. And the count 1-2.
Houston plays at Texas once again, and Texas has won 4 straight games, including the first 3 in that 4-game series. This for Houston, if it's not a must win, it's pretty close to it.
He punches out the side, and after half inning of play, it's the A's nothing and the good guys coming to bat.
Iowa. Let's take a look at how Robin's going to line up our Sox for the game this afternoon. Micah Johnson leading it off and playing second base, and it's Alexei Ramirez, the one-time pitcher. Melky Cabrera, who's had a whale of a series with Avisail Garcia, Giovanni Soto, Mike Olt, J.B. Shuck, Tyler Flowers, and Tyler Saladino rounding it out. The defense, and on the lineup behind Sean Nolan, Jake Smolinski, Tyler Leydendorf, and Josh Reddick in the outfield, with Valencia, Semien, Lowry, and Canna in the infield. Josh Fegley behind the plate. And our Lexus pursuing perfection starting pitcher is soft-tossing left-hander Sean Nolan. He's 1-1, his ERA a touch over 3. He's one of the guys they got from the Toronto Blue Jays in what will always be known as a trade probably he wish he hadn't have made, as Donaldson probably will win the MVP this year. But if Graveman comes through and if Nolan comes through, at least they have the makings of a rotation.
And before we show you our picks to click, you at home select yours as first pitch, high and wide to Micah Johnson. Micah hitting at .247, no homers. He's driven in 3. 0 for 8 though in this series. Sox come in hitting at .254 as a club with a 4.02 ERA. Little emergency swing right there.
There's a little cheerleader, a White Sox cheerleader. You can't start them too early, but do use sunscreen.
High breaking ball hit hard but foul. Popped up softly, playable, and 1 out.
You got to wait back on Nolan because he's not going to be able to throw much of anything by you. He does have a good curveball, however, and a pretty decent straight change. And with the velocity he'll top out at, which is high 80s, maybe he gets to 90, 91. You just have to make sure you're ready when he inevitably throws you a steady diet of off-speed stuff.
Here's Alexei at .252, 10 homers, 57 driven in. Takes first pitch strike. There's that changeup. Good movement. Almost like a screwball. Another one.
Do you get the feeling that they reincarnated Tommy Malone and put him in a bigger body?
So far, through the first out, yeah. Back through the middle? No. No, that doesn't happen too often to Malone with us.
No, but that was 86. That's probably around the top of his best bolt for a fastball.
Here's Melky, 7 for 14 in the series. Took that pitch nicely. Oh. Fastball misses. 3-0 with Avi on deck. There it goes. And there's ball 4. All right, with 1 out, 2 on, let's check out our picks to click. DiMaggio, Mike Leary, Dave Ross, crew. Well, they went with Shuck. Steve's going with Old. And J.J. Shearer and all the great folks at Ditka's tonight. We're going to go with Tyler Saladino.
The one thing Nolan cannot do is consistently fall behind hitters. He's fallen behind the last 2, and there are 2 White Sox on base.
That fastball strike. All speed misses. 1-1. There's a little soft pop up. Marcus comes in. 2 out, and that'll bring up Giovanni Soto.
Got a couple of catchers in the lineup, with Rob Brantley being the 3rd catcher. Rob got an opportunity last night, and so Gio and Tyler in the same lineup, which very rarely happens.
Outfield straight up, spaced about equidistant, maybe just a slight gap out there in left center. Checks it up, takes the strike.
This Oakland team has used 29 different pitchers, an all-time franchise record dating back to the way old days in Philadelphia. That's a lot of pitchers to run through in a season.
Little fly ball can of corn out there in right field. So we get a couple of guys on, can't do anything with it, and after 1, no score.
Brought to you by Miller Lite.
And remember, CSN Chicago has the most Bears coverage in town. And today, after this game, break open the playbook and get ready for Sunday afternoon's Week 2 battle with the Arizona Cardinals on Bears Blitz. That's today at 4:30 on CSN Chicago. Valencia, Butler, Reddick. Here in the top of the second. That's fair. And that's out.
Nice off balance throw by Tyler Saladino. He had some time. Valencia doesn't have all the speed in the world, and a little chopper to the left side. Able to smother it on the short hop, which is what you want to do, and he gets him by plenty.
Well, Tyler, watching him before the game, if you come to the ballpark and you watch him, he practices that. He practices the throwing off the wrong foot, off balance.
Last night at shortstop, he actually played exceptionally well, and he made some just really good plays. Also some efforts that came up a little short, but he made a stop in the hole that was just outstanding. So he's a natural shortstop, and you can tell he's got the range for it.
That ball hit right at him by Butler. Hang Wolfram for Billy. 2 down. Well, he's just a natural baseball player.
Smart player. You'd have to think the hitting would improve. Defensively, you can pretty much stick him anywhere, and he's going to give you a really good performance.
He's going to be a good hitter. Yeah. Or I should say he's going to be a hitter, certainly going to play in the major leagues for a long time. Here's Reddick. 277, 18, and 73. His numbers. He's 1 for 6 lifetime off our Jose, and that one hit was a home run. One and two.
Reddick originally with Boston, came over to Oakland. The top of the line player that went back was Andrew Bailey.
Get over there. So that'll be an error on Holtz.
Seemingly an easy play. Just drops out of the glove.
Getting back to Saladino. If he hadn't had Tommy John surgery last year, he probably would have been opening day third baseman for us this year.
Well, certainly that would have improved the overall team defense, and we wouldn't have struggled through some of those early struggles.
Here's Fagley. Josh takes first pitch, strike. Josh at 249, 9 homers and 34 driven in. Thing that's not mentioned enough today that used to be very commonplace in years past is having talked about pitchers being able to pitch over mistakes. over errors.
Just look at the unearned run column of guys, and you'll get a pretty good idea who can do it. And Mike couldn't get the throw off.
So that'll be a stolen base. Reddick now 8 for 9.
He's got it picked off by plenty. And then no throw.
Well, if you get the right guys out there, you got a right-handed throwing first baseman, you can steal sometimes if the guy not good real good defensively, you can steal on him. They got a shot. He gone. Oh, yes, he is. Good play by Tyler. So they'll take care of that. And after an inning and a half, no score.
Anybody's ever done it. Back in April, he hits a home run in Colorado while a member of the Chicago Cubs. And last night, he jumped on a slider that was right over the middle of the plate, hit a Titanic home run. The first player to homer for both the Cubs and the White Sox in the same season. Somewhat hard to believe, but true.
And poof, here he is. Hitting at 220. Counting the home run with the Cubs. 2 and 3 RBIs. Takes first pitch strike. Breaking ball. Evens the count at 1. Change up, 2-1. Now back. Jammed himself.
Join us at U.S. Cellular Field on Saturday, October 3rd as the White Sox host the Detroit Tigers at 6:10. First 10,000 fans will receive an exclusive stretch sale action figure. For tickets or more information, visit whitesox.com.
J.B. Shuck Hitting at 273, no homers, 14 driven in. Three and 0. There's one. Chopper, 2 hopper. Two down.
Well, so far the steady diet of straight changes and soft breaking balls have stifled the Sox offense.
First pitch strike to Tyler. Tyler hitting at 224 with 9 homers, 38 driven in, 2 for 3 in this series. You can jam yourself and see what happens. Just making contact. Anything good can happen.
This ball on the inside corner, this is his fastball at 86, and Tyler was able to just ease it over the head of Simeon at shortstop.
So here's our other Tyler, Saladino, hitting at 240, 4 homers, and he's driven in 20. Want to know the count. First time any of our guys in this lineup have seen Nolan. Two and 0. Well, Sean doesn't have good enough stuff to be pitching 203, 130.
No, he's going to wind up giving up a lot of runs if he continues to do that. This season for Nashville, he was 2-2, and his ERA was very respectable, 2.66.
Out front on that one, off the end of the bat. Lowry plays like a first baseman, makes the stretch, the catch, and no score. season as we face Michael Brantley and the Cleveland Indians. So join us for the first pitch from Cleveland at 6 right here on Comcast Sports. 3 in Cleveland, 4 in Detroit, with that Monday being a split doubleheader, and then finish it off with 4 in New York. Josh Phegley was at the plate when Josh Reddick, on a pitch in the dirt, got away from Flowers, tried to go into third base. Tyler recovered and gunned him out.
Good thing to do with Phegley before the wipeout pitch, whatever you choose, is to cut a fastball inside. Normally he'll yank that foul, you get a strike, and then you can throw him whatever you want to put him away.
That ball hit hard. Nobody's going to get that one. One hop off State Farm. So you can cancel a post-game show. That's the first hit, and that's number 16 in doubles for Phegley.
This pitch is low and away, and Josh Phegley just reaches out. He is a pull hitter. Hammers it into the gap. One hops the State Farm sign and winds up with 2.
And our condolences and heartfelt wishes go out to the family and the friends and the Houston Astros on the passing of Milo Hamilton. 60 years calling baseball games. He died at the age of 88. There's a shot. Nice play by Tyler. That's a hang with him for Smolinski.
First time he tried to take it to the right side. This time he tried to take it down the left field line. Almost succeeded. As Tyler goes up, times it well, and makes the catch. This ball's hit hard.
So here's Tyler Ladendorf, hitting at .267, no homers, 2 driven in. That's a can of corn. 2 down. Back to the top of the order with Marcus Semien. Struck out, called out on a good fastball. That curveball down low. And there's a base hit into right field. Got a throw, is going to get it. Good throw, but it's off the mark. So it's 1-0 A's.
Avi had all the best of this one. They had a good shot of getting Phegley. High hopper, and the throw is just off the mark.
So Semien into second.
Avi on number 39.
And here's Canna. Struck out swinging on a fastball. 1-2-0 for them. 0-2-1 for us. Here in the top of the third inning, if you're just joining us. That breaking ball grabs the strike. Nice play by Alexei. And that saves a run. But they do get on the board, and after an inning and check that 2.5, it's 1-0 Athletics.
For New Amsterdam vodka, that taste is award-winning smoothness. So whether you're with your friends or at a game or watching TV, lift a glass to your team, Chicago. New Amsterdam, it's your town. New Amsterdam's the official vodka of the Chicago White Sox. Outstanding effort by Alexei as he keeps one out of center field, makes the play easily, and leaves Oakland with only one on the board.
Top of the order, Micah fouled out to third. Fakes the bunt, takes the strike, and the count 0-1.
For the most part, Nolan is below the hitting speed. And that's what's confusing the hitters more than anything else.
Well, you get any left-hander who throws in the mid-80s with a decent changeup, and he's going to give us fits.
That has certainly been the case for quite some time. Can you remember any time that you've been here, in all the years that you've been here, that a White Sox predominantly right-hand hitting team has been able to deal with soft-tossing left-handers?
Well, with the exception of Scott McGregor way back when. He, of course, got a left-hander with the Baltimore Orioles. Pitched one of the best games I've ever seen. As he gets Micah, it's out number 1. In fact, he threw a 2-hit shutout against us. Never touched 90 and struck out 10. And outside of that season, though, that 83 hitting club, you run some mediocre stuff out there against them, they kill you.
Even left-handers?
With the exception of Scott McGregor.
Scotty was pretty good. Had a great changeup.
But since then, I can't remember every time we've had. Well, it definitely started. It definitely started back in the early 90s. That's when it became noticeable that any left-hander with no fastball and a decent changeup was going to pitch well against us. Is going to fare well against us. Now they could beat themselves with wildness or whatever. Two down. And funny thing about it was, it got to the point there that you would start following that particular left-hander on his next start, and invariably somebody lit him up.
There's some teams that match up very well. Real good fastball hitting teams don't match up very well against soft tossing left-handers, but teams with a few guys in the lineup with slider speed bats, which is just a little less than those fastball hitters, those are the guys that hit these guys. Slider speed bat guys.
Melky walked his first trip. Previous pitch was 71. That's at 87. Previous pitch was just from lack of velocity that had movement.
Well, so far it's been pretty effective.
Well, I know one thing. He wouldn't have any problems with me. Three-one pitch. Full count with two down. Another easy inning for him, and he leads it 1-0. Bottom of the 4th inning, and we apologize for the power failure down in our truck. And right here, Javi Garcia with a 0-2 count. A run on 3 hits, no errors for them. No runs, 2 hits, and 1 error for us. They scored a run in the 3rd. Javi, 0 for 1, popped up softly to Simeon behind the pitcher's mound. Whoa, 89.
In the top of the 4th inning, after Lowry had a base hit, Valencia flied to center. Butler went 6 unassisted on a good play by Alexi, and then Reddick flied out to right. And no runs, 1 hit, no errors as we head into the bottom of the 4th inning. It's 1-0 Athletics.
Outfield bunched a bit, straight up. One out.
Hawk, for Avi, who has obvious problems with anything up high, is there any way in a stance or anything else you can get a hitter to lay off high pitches, or is that just ingrained in the way he hits?
It's tough. It can be done, but it's tough. Some guys, I've seen guys, they just could not do it. They could not learn how to lay off a high fastball, and eventually it got them out. Other guys can. I think Avi will be able to. All it is trying to get yourself in a mindset. Regardless of who is out there, you're going to make them get the ball down. You're going to set almost your subconscious zone at a certain height. And anything over that, you just have to learn how to take it.
Would that have anything to do with using more of a crouch in your stance?
So it's a fingerprint, different for everybody. Some guys, yeah, some guys, no. Some guys actually become more of a stand-up type hitter to lay off that pitch. As that's 2 down.
In the meantime, the soft-tossing left-hander in 3 2/3 innings has 3 strikeouts.
Well, it doesn't surprise me. We've seen it too often to be surprised, as here is Mike Holt. Went out, jammed himself, hit a little soft ground ball down the 3rd.
I like the way that Fegley is getting the ball back to Nolan, and he's working very quickly. It's a good rhythm he's established.
First responsibility of a catcher is to find a guy's rhythm, get him in it, and keep him. Second responsibility, according to the Hall of Famer and a great person, Gabby Hartman, former catcher. That's the first responsibility. Second is to that ball hit high and deep. And this game is tied at 1.
That one almost went over the stands. That probably was just about the last row of the concourse. As Old hits it a mile.
You can put it on the board. Yes.
3rd home run. He's driven in 4, a 4th home run replay, and he gets every stitch of this. Got it up in the wind. And Ford will show you the way. Almost on a fly onto the concourse. That is a blast.
So here's Shuck. And of course, with that home run by Olt, the Alex Nelius family, and Christine O'Reilly We'll hook up once again for White Sox charities in loving memory of Ursula. Measured that at 443. This is Nolan's third start, and that's the second home run he's thrown.
JB got a little something in his eyes. The wind is really picking up. Very much a factor. Blowing out toward the left field corner.
Watch out. Drake almost got
he turned
up out there.
He turned right in. Looked like a wide receiver going after a pass. And finally realized that he's not supposed to catch him. Take a look at Rob. Top of your screen. Ball comes at him, then he turns into it before finally turning away. Oop, can't go there.
So here's Tyler. Tyler singled. And that ball into left. Caught by Smolinski, but the long home run by Mike Holt, and this game is tied at 1. They scored one in the third. We scored one last inning on a long home run by Mike Holt. So for them, it'll be Fegley, Smolinski, and Leidendorf. Josh doubled into left center field and then came around to score on a single by Marcus Semien. That's souvenir time, right side.
Ray Fosse, the Oakland broadcaster and a great friend of my partner, said that he really likes the defensive work that Josh Phegley has done this year. He thinks he's got a very strong arm. It's been accurate. And like most of the catchers, you'd like to see him even out the hitting a bit, but the defense has been okay.
That's into left field.
He was a good one.
He was one of the best. One of the best, and all of a sudden that injury in the All-Star game. And it was never quite the same again with the bat. He was with the glove and could throw. With the bat, he just didn't have the same swing.
Jose's going to have to make an adjustment because last time up, Smolinski just crushed the ball, so he didn't fool him at all. Let's see what he tries to go to here.
He crushed it, and Saladino made a nice reactive play there. One out, 2-1 the count. And there is the first walk issued by Quintana. So here's Leitendorf. Went out softly to Melky in left field. Takes first pitch strike. Tyler was born in Park Ridge, now resides in Des Plaines.
He was drafted twice by the Yankees and the Giants before he finally decided to go with the Twins, who drafted him in 2008. He was drafted in 2002, 2007 by the Yankees and Giants, and then the Twins in the 60th round in 2008, and here he is in the major leagues.
Smolinski just 1 for 2 in stolen bases. That's into left field.
It's time now for you to tweet your strongest fan photo. Use hashtag Chicago Data Strong Fan. You just might see yourself on an upcoming broadcast brought to you by T-Mobile.
Leadoff man Marcus Semien struck out in the first. RBI single in the third. Picked up his 39th RBI. 1-0 the count to Marcus. Gap out there in right center. If you're just tuning in, 1-4-1 for us. 1-3-0 for them. Can't get that one. That one at 92 and the count 1-2. I told you earlier about tomorrow night. Chris Sale on the bump for our guys in Cleveland. First of a 3-game set against the Tribe. And he'll be opposed by Cody Anderson. And that game will be right here on Comcast Sportsnet. Then on Saturday, Carlos Rodon against to be announced. And on Sunday, Johnny Dax, who's really been pitching well, also to be announced for them.
Tribe is playing pretty good ball. They've won 7 of their last 10. And they're sitting there 4 games out of the wild card.
That Lindor has put a little life into that ball club.
Been pretty amazing what he's accomplished offensively. They knew he was a defensive wizard.
Curveball low, so a full count. He's had some big hits for them.
And he's had a lot of hits.
That's into left field. Melky back now close to State Farm. Makes the catch, and that'll retire the side. We are halfway home, tied at 1. As we are set to get going here at the bottom of the 5th inning in this 1-1 tie.
White Sox fans, celebrate your culture with Hispanic Heritage Night on October 2nd, presented by Miller Lite. There's going to be Latin music and dancing, special activities for kids, an on-the-field parade, and a post-game fireworks show. It's not just a good time, it's Miller time. Miller Lite, the official beer of your Chicago White Sox. So for tickets that start as low as $10, purchase visiting whitesox.com/NHH.
Tyler Saladino will lead it off for us.
Young man loves the Rolling Stones.
Tyler 0 for 1, got it into a 6-4 fielder's choice. Makes first pitch strike. 6'4", 230-pound soft tossing southpaw out of Seaford, New York. Ladendorf, the center fielder, just about straight up. There's a shot. That's a hang whiffle for Tyler.
We've seen Canna play the outfield. We've seen him play left and right. We've seen him play first base.
Here's Micah. He fouled out third and struck out. To another count. Or with the cloud cover. It is a perfect day here in the City Beautiful. 87 degrees, but nice and breezy.
We won't be here for the cold front, but it's coming.
No, we've been lucky weather-wise so much this season.
We'll get it the next day in Cleveland.
Prior to this, the last 5 years, April and May had just absolutely sucked. It was just brutal. And that's foul back. A couple years ago, we went all the way through April, May, and the first half of June.
Still cold.
Yeah.
Still very cold.
Full count. And there's ball four, so good speed aboard. That's the first walk issued by Sean Nolan. Check that. You walk a Burr in the first. There's Alexei. Alexei 1 for 2.
That's a balk. Joe West called the balk.
You cannot even do anything close to a balk with Cowboy Joe out there. He will nail you.
That's what Bob Melvin is talking to him about.
Well,
he's going to say that front foot did not go toward first, but that angle, that's a tough balk call.
Bob knows that Joe will call, as does Robin. Joe involved in one of the 2 rules in baseball. First rule in baseball is catch the ball. The next rule in baseball is don't mess with Joe West. He'll hog tie you and make you listen to that country and western CD. 1-0 the count. Outfield straight up. Bunch just a hair. Make that balk hurt. 2-0. Right here, Alexa, pick him up. Alexa has 57 RBIs. And he's got a 3-1 count. Counting in a little bit and well off the line at first base. Second walk of the inning.
Hey, White Sox fans, next time you're looking for great seats, get to StubHub, where there are no surprise fees at checkout. That's right. On StubHub, the price you see is the price you pay. StubHub, the official fan-to-fan ticket marketplace of ChicagoWhiteSox.com.
While they're out there, limited slate of action around the big leagues today. Bottom of the 9th in Pittsburgh. Cubs leading the Pirates 9-6. Bottom of the 5th here, of course, is 1-1. Other action will show Kansas City and Cleveland. Angels taking on the Twinkies at Target Field. Miami at Washington against that very hot young stud they got, Bryce Harper, with 40 home runs. He's just getting warmed up.
He looks like he's cemented that MVP.
Toronto taking on Atlanta down in Atlanta. And of course, Josh Donaldson, MVP in this league. Big game at Arlington as they host Houston. Houston's going to run some good right-handed stuff out there in that Lance McCullers. Colby Lewis for the Wranglers. That's back through the middle into center field. So here comes that first walk and balk. And Sox lead it 2-1. That boy Melky.
RBI 71. And the Sox take the lead. Takes it right back up the middle. That was a high changeup. And high changes get hurt. So Nolan got down under that vicious line drive, and Sox take a 2-1 lead.
Melky with 8 hits and 7 RBIs in this series. And he's just 2 home runs short of 100 for his career. And here's Avi. Avi has popped to short and struck out. Got to lay off that one. Oh, and to the count. I don't mind it when we face guys, pitchers. I don't care how good the right-handers are when Avi's there. If he's just got to look in and out.
But up and down is not so good for him?
No. No. Not very good. Up and down is not very good. Two down.
He went upstairs again, and this time Nolan got him to swing through a high fastball.
So here's Gio. Gio's going out to right, and he is struck out, called out. That was last inning. Then all of a sudden you get guys out there, you're outstanding pitchers, where you got to look in and out and up and down. Then you're probably going to go 0 for 4, maybe 1 for 4 with a Kansas City special.
Not many guys in this day and age could control all 4 quadrants.
No,
however.
not too many.
If they could, hitters might as well go home.
Well, Kansas City had one there for a while. It was just absolutely brilliant at all 4. And that was Brett Saberhagen.
He was a real good one.
One and one to count. Come on, Gio. That ball hit high and deep. Stretch. Get up in that wind. Stretch. Stretch. Back out by the wind trust. He just missed it. But we pick up one, and we'll go to the 6th, leading 2-1.
field and delicious food and beverage options for you to enjoy prior and during White Sox games. Purchase a First Merit Bank Stadium Club membership by calling 312-674-1000.
Sixth inning. 2-5-1 for us, 1-3-0 for them. And for the A's, it'll be Canna, Lowry, the first two. Canna struck out. Alexei made a real good play on it, saving a run. There's first pitch strike. And we were talking earlier about the former All-Star catcher Ray Fosse, who's now a fine, very fine broadcaster for the A's. There he is. Back in '70, a lot of you have seen that many times when Pete Rose ran over him extra innings in the All-Star game and hit him, injured his left shoulder. Coming into that All-Star game, Fosse was hitting at .312 with 16 homers and 45 RBIs in 78 games. And then after the All-Star game, he was hitting .297 with 2 home runs, 15 RBIs. I was on that ball club, and you could just see the difference in the swing once he got back in action.
How long was he out for?
Not that long. He was still a pretty good hitter, but power. Before that, he could take you out halfway up those right center field bleachers out there. He hit back in those ivy in center. And after that, the power diminished. That's right at him. J.B. Shuck.
In case you've never seen it, there's Pete Rose whacking Ray Fosse. And as you can see, he didn't have the ball yet.
And needless to say, they won't be having much dinner with each other.
Well, after shaking hands with Ray, I think it would be a wise move for Pete to stay away from him.
Very wise.
Yes.
I speak from experience. Very wise.
That's a strong guy right there.
I've seen Ray in action. We were teammates. Lowry struck out and singled. Two and one to count.
They have up on the board in center field that Bob Melvin, the fine skipper of these Oaklands, played the last 11 of his 692 big league games with the '94 Sox. Of course, unfortunately, that was the strike year. The Sox had a pretty good ball club.
Everybody was anticipating a White Sox Montreal Expo World Series. Expos were awesome as well. I'll tell you, that '94 club may have been as good a club as we've had here in 30 years. Of course, the 05 club, not bad themselves, winning a world championship.
They did pretty well.
But everybody was talking about the Sox locking horns with the Expos in the World Series. that is a base hit. He's going to make that hard turn.
I like that turn because when you're taking that aggressive turn, if whoever is fielding it bobbles the ball for even an instant, you're going to be able to slide into second base. If you don't take that aggressive turn, you're not going to be able to speed it up and get into second. So he takes it right back up the middle. And with his big aggressive turn at first base, he puts some pressure on the execution of the defense.
Well, he's a fun guy to watch play.
And he plays hard. Oh,
he gives you everything he's got every time out there. That turn that you saw right there for all you youngsters, Kansas City had a player named George Brett, third baseman, who was a great player, Hall of Famer. Every time he hit the ball, he made a turn like that. Everything was a double until he saw it was not, or everything was a triple until he saw it was not.
Judging by the amount of doubles he had during the course of his career, he didn't stop all that often, especially in that ballpark in Kansas City with the artificial surface.
All right. Bad throw. Nice pick. Come on. Meanwhile, that'll retire the side and we lead it 2-1.
Game. Tweet your strongest fan photo to hashtag Chicago Data Strong Fan. You just might see yourself in an upcoming broadcast brought to you by T-Mobile. Oh, there's a cute little Sox fan. And we've got a new pitcher coming in the ball game, and it's Fernando Rodriguez. We saw Fernando in the opening game of this series. We've seen just about everybody in that pen. Rodriguez threw pretty well. Couple of innings, 4 strikeouts and a walk, didn't give up any runs. There you look at the numbers. On for the 49th time, he's 4-1, 3.78 ERA. He's one of the real good guys out of their bullpen. The bullpen, which has had all kinds of problems. We talked about the fact that they've used 29 pitchers, which is an all-time organization record for the Athletics, and they've been a few different places. So we'll take a look at what Rodriguez has to feature here this afternoon.
Well, he's sneaky.
Yeah, he looked pretty good.
Yeah, he went 2 innings, no runs, 1 hit, 1 walk, had 3 strikeouts. But our right-handed hitters were firing him over that first base dugout.
He came over for the Astros in a deal. Missed the entire 2013 season with Tommy John surgery. There's Ty Waller, the first base coach.
So here is Olt. He's 1 for 2. And if you miss that 1 hit in the 4th,
it's an absolute bomb. Nolan a little unhappy with himself, but you got to be proud of throwing it that far.
Here's JB. He's 1 for 2. Rodriguez, 31 years old, out of El Paso. He's 6'3", 240 pounds. High and to left. Jake's there. Smolinski makes the catch. 2 down. So here's Tyler. Fouls that one back. Tyler has singled and lined out to Smolinski. Off the end of the bat. That's a big game down in Arlington.
Huge game, but especially for the Astros, who've seen that lead slip away.
Game and a half behind the Rangers.
Very quietly, and I say very quietly because he's only been around this first year, Jeff Bannister has done a really nice job keeping that ball club afloat when nothing was really going right for them. Then all of a sudden things started to click, and as they did, Houston started feeling the youth that they have up and down that lineup, and Texas just kept on winning. Now they're in a pretty good spot.
Both those managers have done a terrific job. And there's a shot. That a boy, Tyler. He knows that Reddick can throw, and he'd have been a gone goose had he tried it. A.J. Hinch and Jeff Bannister both right in the money conversation for manager of the year.
Yeah, it's going to be a hotly contested race this year because there's so many qualified candidates. One of the guys that we talked about last night that gets overlooked most every year, Joe Girardi. He's kept his Yankees through everything they've gone through and kept them afloat.
Well, Joe's become one of the better managers in the game.
Very, very good. And a guy that probably won't get a whole lot of votes, but he's such a good guy, you'd love to see him get some sort of acclaim, is John Gibbons at Toronto. Because that ball club just took off. A lot of help from Alex Anthopoulos, however, the GM at the trading deadline, but still, you still got to manage him.
Yeah, he'll be in the mix. Clint Hurdle and Joe Madden. And that guy in St. Louis.
To me, Terry Collins is going to get the nod, the Mets manager. Matheny does a nice job.
Well, Terry right now is an 8-5 favorite.
He's really done a whale of a job.
That ball hit high in right field by Saladino, right in front of the track. We're into the 7th, still leading 2-1.
Carlos Sanchez on November 28th for the Sox on the Beach Apple Vacation. This 7-night all-inclusive hotel stay will be at the Iberostar Paraíso del Mar in beautiful Riviera Maya, Mexico. There's going to be a private welcome party and autograph session, food and drink with special group activities, and your White Sox host will be present for all. Visit applevacations.com/White Sox to book your trip today.
Seventh inning in a 2-1 Sox lead. And talking about potential managers of the year, Paul Molitor is going to be in that mix. In fact, Houston's only won 2 more games than the Twins.
I think Paul's done a terrific job with that ball club. Nobody gave them any chance whatsoever. I mean, that was one of the farthest of the long shots.
Here's Billy Butler. Billy is lined hard to right field. Got it into a force play. Yeah, Paulie is right there in the mix. Pretty good pitch, didn't get it.
One thing you just as soon is not have Billy Butler pull the ball. He is not a prolific home run hitter. However, the wind is blowing so hard to left and left center. You just as soon him hit the ball to right or right center.
There's a strike. Strike. And Leary Garcia,
the one-time pitcher in this series, playing center field.
That curveball, top foul. Now, very seldom you ever see a game to whereas you have 2 position players come in and each get an inning in the same game and scoreless.
Both scoreless, yes.
He gone. Yes, upstairs.
High heat, maybe just at the tip of the strike zone. Most likely on the Toyota pitch tracks, it was up and out of the zone, but Billy Butler swung through it anyway. That's the first strikeout since he struck out the side in the first inning.
Here's Reddick. He's 0 for 2. He's reached on an error, and then he's lined out to Avi in right field. Takes a curveball strike. To the count. Big game for the Halos. Target Field tonight. Hector's going for them. Santiago against Cy Malone. He gone. Two down.
Good breaking ball. Kept it low and away. Nice block by Tyler Flowers as he made sure that one couldn't get by, knowing that Reddick had already gone around. Pretty impressive numbers. 4 hits, 6 2/3 innings with 1 earned run. For a whole lot of ways, this is a very typical Jose Quintana performance.
He's just a good pitcher. That's all.
Each and every time out.
He's just a good pitcher. Another terrific pickup by Kenny Williams. Kenny absolutely loved Quintana.
Made a wise choice because the young man keeps getting better. Keeps getting better, keeps getting stronger.
Bagley with that double and run scored. That was back in the 3rd inning. He also just missed one going out to left field. It's popped up right side. And it's not going to be played. Trying to come back, couldn't get there. So 1-2 the count. That curveball downstairs. Full count. 27-year-old receiver. He gone. So he strikes out the side in the 1st. He strikes out the side in the 7th. 7th inning stretch. We lead it 2-1.
Win a variety of unique prizes, including a jersey autographed by the 2005 White Sox, tickets to Fan Appreciation Day on October 4th, and more. Visit whitesox.com/summer sweeps. There's some pretty good dancing. Not quite as good as Bark at the Park last night, but the dancing here is a little bit better.
Top of the order here in the bottom of the 7th. Micah Johnson 0 for 2 with a walk and a run scored. J.B. Shuck, we understand, left the game because of soreness in his left hamstring.
That young man has left the game because of a 2-1 score. He likes offensive baseball.
To know the count. Birthday for one of my grandsons coming up tomorrow. So, Alexander, happy birthday.
Well, apparently there is some very serious fixing going on. Looks like you might lose a finger doing that. But Billy Burns decides that it's worth whatever it is. He's had a bad leg and he's having a nice year for them.
He's one of those guys that it's fun to watch player.
He's a good player, and they miss him in the lineup.
Once again, the 2-2 pitch. Micah can hit some foul balls. And another foul ball. Outfield for the most part straight up. Bit of a gap out there in left center. Cano back a little bit and off the line, well off the line at first. That ball was outside.
That fastball by Fernando Rodriguez to Micah Johnson, registered at 95 on the fast pitch gun, brought to you by Xfinity, the fastest Wi-Fi at home and on the go.
And a payoff pitch. That's in the center field, Leidendorf. Once again, a reminder, maybe make your plans to be with us tomorrow night. First of the 3-game set against the Tribe in Cleveland. It'll be Chris Sale against Cody Anderson. That's the first game of an 11-game, 10-day road trip. 3 in Cleveland, 4 in Detroit, and 4 in New York. That Monday in Detroit, first day in, will be a split doubleheader. Ball hit sharply right to Laurie.
Here's what it'll look like. The 3 against the Tribe. The 4 against Detroit with the split doubleheader coming on Monday, and then the 4 against the Yankees. And then it is back home for the final homestand of this 2015 season.
Kansas City and Detroit.
For Kansas City, those games would be really big because you don't know where they're going to be in relationship to the Blue Jays for overall home field advantage. Blue Jays would have a big advantage in that ballpark. Maybe not as much as in some years past, but certainly right now with the bangers they have up and down that lineup and a ballpark where the ball flies, you get him in that park, you've got some problems.
Let me tell you, those guys don't need a small park. They could play it in Grand Canyon.
But
they'll still hit them out of there.
Those wall scrapers do help on occasion. They've got power up and down that lineup.
They are very, very dangerous.
Royals have had a very much of a Johnny Cueto dilemma. They're not understanding exactly what to do with a guy they got to start game number 1 for them in the playoffs. And we've seen him. He just doesn't look the same for whatever reason. Maybe he needs some rest. They're not sure.
To me, it looked like he had a little bit of a tired arm.
Yeah, it looked like it was very much
justifiably so. There's a shot. Melvin continues just to rake. Two for 3 with an RBI today. So he's 9 for 16, 17. 9 for 17 in this series.
This is a fastball down in the zone, and he just cranks it. By the time this season is over, Melky's going to come pretty close to the back of the baseball card, as they say, his lifetime numbers. Unfortunately, it will have come a little too late for this year, but he's got another couple of years here.
Here's Avi. Takes first pitch strike. Avi 0 for 3 today. Soto on deck. Yeah, in fact, Toronto's one of those teams. They're better off in a ballpark that's so big that the other team can't hit them out of.
Well, unfortunately, they're not going to be able to play the Giants unless it's in the World Series or the Dodgers. Those are two tough parks. San Diego won't be there anyway. What do you think is the toughest hitter's park in the American League?
You'd have to ask a guy who's playing because of the backdrop.
Well, that's a huge factor.
Oh, I guess. So that'll retire the side here, and we're into the 8th, still leading 2-1. In Chicago, starting at 10 p.m. Take a look at the weekend's biggest college matchups on Sportsnet Central. Then at 10:30, go inside the NFL on Playbook with Jim Miller, followed by Chicagoland's premier preps recap. That's the recap show on High School Lights. High School Lights at 11. It's the Friday night kickoff starting tomorrow at 10 p.m. on CSN Chicago.
We got a new pitcher in the ball game, and it is Matt Alberts. We featured him on the opening of the show. 26 times he's been out. He's 2-0. His ERA 134. He's got a 1-run lead. Jose Quintana was brilliant again. 7 innings, 1 run, 4 hits, 1 walk, 6 strikeouts, and just a magnificent performance again. And he leaves with the lead.
So here's Sam Fold hitting for Smolinski. Coco Crisp on deck. Well, nothing that you wouldn't expect out of Jose Quintana. He's just one of the better left-handers in the game, not just in this league, in the game.
And the one thing that you have to admire about him, which is difficult, is regardless of how badly things have gone behind him, and they go bad behind a lot of different pitchers. Seems like Jose gone a little bit worse. Never made one complaint. Never talked about lack of offense. Never talked about anything. You watch his facial expressions. Nothing ever changes. He goes out there same way each and every pitch.
Well, you'll never hear him complain.
Nope.
He's a tough young man. We saw that early on in his career when he was not afraid to pitch out of jams.
One game stands out was his game at Yankee Stadium. On the big stage for the first time, he just went after those Yankee hitters just as if he had been facing that particular lineup 50 times. So Coco Crisp is going to get an at-bat. Not a particularly good year for him. Man of many injuries. Lots of talent, many injuries.
He's always played well against us. That's off the end of the bat. Caught. And quickly 2 out.
Took a little something off, and Coco pulled
so did
off.
Coco.
Coco pulled off it and cued it off the end of the bat. That just barely got to Saladino.
You could have caught that ball with a pair of pliers. So here is Marcus Semien, 1 for 3. RBI single back in the third. His first pitch strike. Yeah, that backdrop we were talking about, that's to a lot of hitters, that's everything. If you see the ball good, you're going to probably hit it good. Tough to hit when you can't see it very well.
I tried to suggest to a couple of the teams I played with to use beige. I thought beige would work in with the park very nicely for backdrop, but they
didn't go for that.
No, they seem to be stuck on green, some shade of very dark green. The pen with some guys who are ready. Jake Petrichka, Zach Duke, just in case. Right now, Matt seems to have things well in hand.
Micah got position, got low. Nice, another nice inning for Matt Alberts.
Game as we head into the bottom half of the 8th inning. So Sean Doolittle comes in the ball game. He's on for the 9th time. He's had an injury-plagued season. Sam Fuld, who came on to pinch hit, stays in the game in center field. Coco Crisp, who came on to pinch hit, stays in the game in left field.
So here's Gio. Takes ball 1. Doolittle last year 22 saves for this ball club. Big hack. Not Gio. Gio 0 for 3 last time up, went out deep to center. Out in front, yanks that one foul. Well, 1-2 the count.
There's a look at the man that's going to be charged with nailing it down. Wouldn't mind an insurance run or so. That'll depend on Doolittle, who was an all-star last year. That's way up there, but way out of play. Occasionally you do get a little fortunate. Doolittle with a very good arm, drafted in the the first round, but the 41st pick of the first round. And he's not a big man, but he's a strong man.
Change up. 2-2. Ate him up. 1 out.
Just like we promised you earlier in the game, it's Miller time, brought to you by Miller Lite. Here's our Miller Moments, and it encompasses all of the scoring. Mike Gold hit a titanic home run, his 3rd. At the time that tied it at 1. And then Melky went right back through the middle, driving in the 2nd run, and that's where we stand at 2-1. And Melky continues his red-hot hitting.
That home run by Holt, 1 row from going back on the concourse. Now feels slightly to the right. Nice gap out there in left center. It is the final from Pittsburgh. 9-6. Cubs beat the Buccos.
It took 3 of 4 in a big series. Let's take a look at the National League Central. The Cardinals still have the lead by 4.5 over the Pirates. The Cubs 6.5 back. Just 2 games in back of the Pirates for the #1 wild card slot. And a home game in the one and done.
2 down. So here's Leuri making his first plate appearance. J.B. Shuck left because of a sore left hamstring, was 1 for 3. Count evens at 1. Sox trying to make it 6 5 of 7 against the Athletics this season. And this is a nice inning for Sean Doolittle. 1, 2, 3, and we are into the 9th.
Miller Lite. It's Xfinity high-speed action replay first. It's a good play by Tyler Flowers as he cuts down Reddick. And Tyler Saladino with good reflexes as he goes toward the line to take a double away. And then a terrific play by Alexei as he saves a run going up the middle and getting up and throwing a pinpoint bullet to first base. So David Robertson comes in the ball game, and he's here to nail it down. On for the 54th time, he's 6-3, 29 saves in 35 opportunities, 76 strikeouts, and 56 in the third inning.
So here's Canna. Mark Canna's dangerous. He is 0 for 3, a strikeout. Alexei made that good play on him, and then last time up he lined very hard right to center. Those pitch didn't get it. 1-0 the count. Fouls that one back. One ball, one strike. Saladino back and guarding the line at third. High pop up right side. Big out. That'll bring in Brett Lawrie. He's 2 for 3. And he's had good luck against David. 7 at bats. He has 4 hits. One and 0 the count. 2 runs, 7 hits, 1 error for us. 1 run, 4 hits, no errors for them. And he falls behind Lowry. 2-0. Now 5 for 8, and that's going to be a double right off the end of the bat. '28th two-bagger for Lowry.
Valencia does not get a chance to hit against right-handers very often, as you see Lowry taking it off the end of the bat. That's a tying run at second, with Billy Butler in the on-deck circle.
He is 0 for 3. It grounded to third, went out to center, and hit into a 5-4-3 double play. Ball's behind him, 2-0. Micah better hang out a little bit. There's a strike.
There certainly should be visibility advantage Robertson as the hitter immersed in the shadows. David very much in the sunlight. Valencia not happy with that last call. Kind of understand why.
And there's a base hit. They're going to have to hold him. A solid hit. So he's 4 for 10 off Robin. But runners at the corners and 1 out.
Valencia goes down and gets one almost in the same spot as the third that was called a strike. And fortunately, he hit it so hard and right at Melky that Lowry could not advance. He had to hesitate, and wisely so.
So here is Billy Butler. Butler 0 for 3 today.
Rounded into 23 double plays.
Well, you know, with the way Lowry can run, how hard that ball had to be hit and right at him, as you call.
Yeah. That was a break.
2 steps to either side, and he's going to score. And we got ourselves. He cannot catch it. That is a 3-run homer.
He had the ball in the glove, and it hit the top of the fence and looked like it bounded out of the glove.
And it's a 4-2 Oakland lead.
We'll take a look, and it looks like Avi is going to make another one of his unbelievable catches, and he's got it, I believe, in the glove. It is in the glove and then hits the top of the fence, and when it does that, it shakes it out of the glove and over the wall.
So here's Reddick. That's too bad. That's too bad. So Butler with his 13th homer now has 62 RBIs. So once again, guess what?
A no D.
A no decision for Jose Quintana. That is no, it's not. Two and two. Maybe the most unlucky pitcher that I have ever seen in 56 years in this game. Full count. And he walks him. Had him 0-2.
And Don Cooper deciding to get somebody up in the pen.
So here's Fegley. Josh is 1 for 3, a double. That was leading off the third, and he came around to score on a single by Marcus Semien.
And this is on instructions from the dugout to go out, kill a little time, and allow Zach Duke a few more pitches. He should be ready. He was up earlier in the game. The most popular way to follow the action of the White Sox is with MLB.com at Bat, the #1 app for live baseball. At Bat brings you baseball wherever you are with live look-ins, highlights, replay previews, scores, StatCast, live radio broadcasts, and the MLB.tv game of the day and more. Download the MLB.com at Bat app on your smartphone or tablet now.
Curveball down low. We're 7-0 for the A's, 2-7-0 for us. They have scored 3 here. If you're just tuning in the top of the 9th inning.
Ryan Dull loosening up. Another guy we've seen in this series. Of course, by this point, we've seen just about everybody in this series.
Two balls and a strike to Fegley. There he goes. And he goes. Second time that Reddick has been caught stealing today.
And a very good throw by Tyler Flowers. Reddick taking a look back, see if there's any contact. There is none, and he puts one right on the money. And Reddick is gunned down easily. Nice play by Tyler.
So Reddick had a stolen base, his 8th. He was 8 for 9. Now he's 8 for 11. Outfield bunch just a bit. Small gap out there in right center. But some damage is done. A 3-run homer by Billy Butler. And they lead it 4-2.
Billy Butler. He takes it the opposite way, and Avi goes back and looks like he's going to make a special catch. He's got it in the glove, in the webbing of the glove, but when he hits his arm on the fence over the wall, the ball drops out. The 3-run homer makes it 4-2.
Well, Billy Butler's the last guy you want up at the plate in that situation.
Knowing he's probably going to make some contact.
Oh, he's a 9-5 favorite to get that guy in third. So here we go, boys. Let's give him a finish. Tyler will lead it off. John Doolittle's first pitch. Soft flash in Kansas City special. Yes, it is. That's a good start.
Tyler with his third of the day. And he's going to depart for a pinch runner. And it's Trace Thompson. Little inside out swing. Doesn't get a whole lot of it, but enough to drop it in front of Reddick.
Well, that's his third hit of the day. The only time he made an out was when he hit the ball the hardest. That was a line drive to left field.
He learned something.
So here's Tyler. Saladino. He's 0 for 3. Last time took Reddick back on the track and right.
We get the big man in the on deck circle.
That's him. '79. Takes the strike. Pretty good lead by Trace. Get picked off. After the game, just joining us, we'll board our charter going over to Cleveland. And the A's will board their charter and going down to Houston. Big gap in left center. 2 down.
All you got to do there is make sure a 1 and do a little turn around. Made sure he made a good solid throw to second base, and it was pretty easy after that.
So Gordon Beckham's going to come out and hit now instead of Abreu. Good rip by Gordon. Two out, 0-2 the count. High pop up right side, and it's coming back. Not enough. But we still got a shot. And lays off that one. Four to 2, Oakland on top. I have a lengthy little conversation at the mound. Yeah, nobody on. 2-2 the count. So a tough loss for our guys as this ball game is over, and another no decision for Jose Quintana.
I've really never seen anything like it for the past 3 years. Not only is he leading the world in no decisions, but he does have about as bad a luck as anybody that ever towed the mound.
I've been in over half a century. He's #1 on my list, but he is also our player of the game. Our 26-year-old tough luck southpaw Jose Quintana. So for Steve Stone, for our director Jim Angio, for our producer Mike Leary, our associate producer Dave Ross, our very fine technical manager Mark Harper. Also for the Mayor Mean Joe Grube and Mike Mayer, Frank Amato, Frank Leone, and the executive producer Jim Corno Jr. This is the Hawk. So long, everybody. You've been watching White Sox baseball on Comcast Sportsnet.